Hey everybody, it's your boy Mars, and today, of course, we're gonna keep on doing some more road racing. If you guys can guess what car I'm in, I am in my beautiful Green Goblin ZR1. But we are not gonna tune the ZR1 today, because I wanted to show you guys different horsepower, different cars, different brackets, and kind of get you guys into tuning different horsepower. So right now I'm going to the festival with my gorgeous car so that we can build a Corvette, but it's going to be the 2002 C4 Corvette, which is the body style before this one. Let's tune that one, and yeah, let's get right to it. Just driving my car. I love this car, hands down. This is my favorite Corvette out of all the other ones. I like the body style on this one. It's gorgeous. This one is also tuned for the road race. You guys can see I'm brake boosting it, pushing 700 horsepower, 700 foot-pounds of torque, 15 pounds of boost out the line. Yeah, and this thing takes off. This thing does take off. Love this thing. Love this thing. I will make another tune video with this vehicle, but for right now, I want to show you guys some tricks, some tips. Some of you guys might know, some of you guys might not know, on how to get the same amount of horsepower as torque. I'm going to make the older model Corvette. You can, with the engine swap 6.2 liter LS motor, you can put it with the same amount of horsepower as torque. So what I'm gonna try to do is go to the hub, and then I'm gonna go and buy a 2002 Corvette, and then I will make it lower horsepower. Gosh, so much AI cars, it's crazy. But yeah, what do you guys think about my color? I love this color. I always called it the Green Goblin ever since Forza 4. It's always been my little Green Goblin car, and I always used it for road racing. On Horizon 2, I also called it the same, Green Goblin. Where am I? Okay, I gotta turn right here. So yeah, just gonna go to the festival real quick. Oh my god, I love this car because I have it set that, like, once you brake boost about 50 or 60 and you let go, it just, like, on my remote I can feel it, like gripping and spinning at a little bit, but you guys don't hear it. And then that's what you want. That's what you initially want, because you don't want it to be boggy and you don't want it to be just spin throughout the whole gear on that second gear pull. But yeah, after this car that I'm gonna build, this Corvette, I'm gonna most likely build a ZR1, and also the other newer Stingray, build that as well. So let's get to it. Let's build the 2002. I'm gonna make it not that much horsepower on this one. I just made a 800 horsepower car. Was the Mustang for the road racing scene, and now I'm gonna make a 700 horsepower Corvette. Did I just pass it? Gosh. Yeah, so I'm gonna make a 700 horsepower Corvette. Where are you? Did I just pass it again? Am I just passing cars just because I feel like it? Yeah, I guess I am. Not paying attention. Alrighty. It's gonna be the Z06 2002 model. This is a nice, great car to make for road racing. Let's see, what colors do they have. Let's do this yellow. Let's make it like a nice yellow. I don't make cars yellow because yellow, it's yeah, I mean, it's yellow, but let's make it yellow on this one. And let's get right to it. It should be pretty fun. It should be fun. Alrighty, so we have the 2002 Corvette. This is the only car that I think you believe you can do that one engine swap with the 6.2. With the other Corvettes, I don't think you can. I'm not sure. I gotta double check, but I most likely think you can't. Let's go to upgrade. Let's go to custom upgrade. Let's do that swap. I could use the original motor, but since I want to do the same amount of horsepower as torque, I'm gonna do that. Let's see. See, right now the car has 415 horsepower with 415 foot-pounds of torque. When you put the turbo, it goes up to 542. So I'm gonna put the turbos on it, which I was gonna do supercharged because it will give me that instant power, but I still like the top end of on the turbos. Now the key is basically, like, let me show you guys. If you put every single one of the parts, you guys can keep seeing that the horsepower and the torque stay the same. That's like the little, this is motor swap, you can do that. You know, you're going to keep on having, once you touch this right here, once you touch the cams is the one that changes that torque and horsepower. As you guys can see, it just went from 636 horsepower and the torque stood at 600. And you keep seeing it keeps changing. The torque stays lower and the horsepower keeps gaining. Now, if you don't touch the cams, but you keep on going, the car will keep on staying the same amount of horsepower as torque. So right now I got 605 horsepower with 605 foot-pounds of torque. You can keep on doing it. Just keep on going up. I believe it's like 800 horsepower or so that it will be the max before the car actually changes. So what I did is I just skipped that. I'm trying to get it to be 800 flat. There we go. So I put the sport intercooler and I got it 800 horsepower with 800 foot-pounds of torque. So I pretty much got everything on here besides the cams. On race, I got the intercooler on sport and I got no oil and cooling. So I got 800 foot-pounds of horsepower, 800 horsepower with 800 foot-pounds of torque. It's ideal. It's great. So I'm pushing the same amount of horsepower as torque. So it's a little trick for you guys. Some of the people, you might not know that with that 6.2 liter motor, you can do that. So I did not put the flywheel on the car. Let's go to the platform. Let's put everything else. I'm gonna put everything else on here. From the rally suspension, pretty much everything on here. I'm gonna put. Of course, I'm not going to put the roll cage, but I am going to rate reduct the car. So the car is sitting right now at 2567. That's really, really, really light for this car. This car is going to fly. I can't even get it to hook, but I most likely will get it to hook. And now let's put everything on here. Race. All right, let's go to the tire compound. Let's put the race. Yeah, let's put those race tire compound. We want that grip on the front. Leave it alone at the 265s. On the rear, let's put it at 345s in the rear. And let's put some really lightweight wheels. I normally always go for the normal wheels that I always tend to put, which is going to be like these hole shots. Let's put these hole shots on there. And then with the size of the rim, let's leave it alone at the 17 in the front and that 18 in the rear. Now let's go to the front bumper. On the front bumper, let's do nothing on there and nothing on that rear. Plus, that's ugly. I don't like that spoiler. So let's leave it like that. Let's install everything. Spend about $74,000 on it. Now let's go out to the airport where I can pretty much tune the car from scratch and then kind of show you guys a tune for the car. So if you put the telemetry down, oh, I was gonna try. I think I put way too much horsepower, didn't I? Yep, this is the 800 horsepower car. Hold on, let's go back. I was trying to make it 700. I put too much because on the Mustang I did have already 800, so I'm trying to make it a lower horsepower car. So yeah, I was just trying to show you guys basically the fact that you can put, you know, the amount of horsepower as torque. Let's see. Yeah, I put way too much horsepower onto it. Alrighty, so let's downgrade the car just a little bit. Let's make it 700 horsepower. Yeah, let's go like that. Let's go down. So let's go like that. That's 640. That's 770. Come on. So it's not giving me the option of doing that much horsepower. Alrighty. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go like this. Let me figure out which one will be that wiggle room where I can have the car same amount of horsepower as torque and have it, oof, right there, almost had it at, let's see, there we go. Alrighty, so this is going to be pretty much it. Let's go back real quick. Sorry guys, I made it 800 horsepower, but I tend to make it for 700. Alrighty, so it's going to be in the intake. I put the street intake. Now we're going to go to the race fuel, or yeah, fuel system. I put it for the race on there. And let's go to the ignition. I put that race ignition on the, I left this exhaust stock. Of course, I left the cam stock because that's the one that changes everything. Have the race valves on it. Have the race engine block. Got those pistons race. Got the sport twin turbos on it. And have the intercooler stock. And also have the stock oil and cooling. And then I left the car flywheel stock. So that car now officially has what I was saying in the beginning, 700 horsepower with 700 foot-pounds of torque, and the car is only weighing at 2513. So it's really, really light. It's going to be a fast car for that bracket. For you guys that do road race 700 horsepower bracket, you guys can, with the LS 6.2 liter motor swap, that V8 motor swap, you can actually make it so that you can be the same amount of horsepower as torque. It's a nice little trick for you guys that did not know. Make sure not to touch the cams. If you do touch the cams, it will change it. So do not upgrade the cams, leave the cams stock. And yeah, so now let's really get to it. Alrighty, now let's go to the, let's fast travel really quick right here to the airport. Yeah, I'm already 13 minutes in. I'm already spending so much time on trying to build a car, but hey, it's all about having fun, isn't it? So yeah, I'm pretty excited. Forza 7, pretty excited for that game. Because the physics on the game is just beyond. But yeah, let's besides the point. Let's go to settings. Let's go to difficulty. Got everything pretty much turned off. Got the car manual with clutch. That's the only way of driving a car. Now let's go to cars. Let's go to tune car. Let's put the front and the rear at 15. Just like that. Now let's put this at 2.2, but we're going to come back to that. Let's see real quick if that changes on my 0 to 60, 3.4, 119, 6540 on the 0 to 100. Let's see if it changes and it makes it worse. So 6540, 19. Nope, it's exactly the same, so I'm gonna just zero that out. Some cars, the positive camber does work to it. Some cars don't. So we're just going to leave that alone. And now let's put the front and the rear. I like to tend to put the rear around 50. And then the front around where the first one was at, which is around, oh, I just passed it. Kind of around 30. So I'm going to just put it at 30. Right there, 30.08, 50.03. Now let's have the car stiffer in the front than in the rear, just like that. let's go like this a little bit. Okay, now let's lower that car in the back just a little tiny bit at 5. Let's go. Yeah, let's lower it around 5 on that rear so I can have the car be a lot. There we go. And now we're going to pretty much put it at the 2.2 as of the other, this one right here. And then on that rear, let's raise it up to about 7. So I want it kind of stiff in the rear, soft in the front, but yet I made it stiff in the front, soft in the rear with that spring rate. So I got it pretty much like that. Let's leave it like that. And I go to the arrow, nothing with the arrow. And the brakes, let's go at 55 and about 120. And then 100 and 100. Just make the acceleration and deceleration about the same. All right, so now let's figure out where the car likes to be. All right, so the car redline's at 7, but it was just really, really boggy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just go up on, let's go to 3 on that final drive. And then let's do it again one more time. So since this car only has 700 horsepower, I think a 40. Alrighty. So from the looks of it, it looks like I made the final drive long. So let's go back to about 80, 280. I think that's where it originally was. And let's try one more time. To about 40 miles per hour. Nice. Nice. The transitions were just really, really smooth. The car tended to spin just a tiny bit on that second gear from that boost brake pull. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go at 1.9. Let me just go kind of 2.60 right there. Let me balance everything out. Right there. And let's go to 80. Let's see how the car likes it. And then we can... It'll pretty much be pretty good how I did with the final drive. All the other gears looked pretty smooth when they're transitioning. So remember, it's not first gear. You're going to feather the gas and then kind of hit the brake, but you're gonna fully press the gas all the way down, but you're controlling your miles per hour with your brake. So I was trying to have it about halfway, so kind of do like a 40 pull with this car since it only has 700 horsepower. You're gonna honk it 3 times and just let go, and it's gonna sound like it's spinning, but it's actually gripping at the same time. And then I have the gears pretty transitioned close to each other so it's not boggy. That 5th gear looked a little boggy. That 3rd looked a little bit short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix the 3rd real quick. Let me fix that 3rd gear. Let's go and put it at 5. And then that 5th gear was a little long on that 5th gear. Most likely these are going to be just all the way to 5th. I don't believe I'm going to touch 6th gear, but... let's put it at 190. So pretty much we got 2.80, 2.60, 190, 145, 120, 1, and then 80. So it's looking pretty good right there. Let's see what our telemetry is looking like. So 17 pounds of boost pushing out that outside. Right there is at 600 foot-pounds of torque. So it's doing really good at that 40. You guys can see it's just, and it grips. It holds right there on that that second gear. It just holds right there for dear life, and then finally you have to like transition, so it can give you a really good pull on that second gear. Let's make this 3rd just a tiny bit longer. And then let's make this one right there. So let's make 3rd at 140 and 4th at 115. Now let's see what it looks like. But it's looking really good at that 700 horsepower. boost braking 40 miles per hour to like 180 will probably be ideal. There we go. Transition. There we go. So each one of the gears were pretty much shorter than the other, which that made it really good to transition from back to back to back. Its car will stay in power band. So, but I didn't like how it was. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just go back to that and then kind of leave everything else alone. So this is gonna be it. This is gonna be the tune. Hope you guys like the tune. It's a nice little 700 horsepower car. 700 horsepower with the same amount of torque as horsepower. So guys, always remember, it's a nice little trick for you guys to learn. And I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And yeah, let's go in our road race. Make some groups on road racing. And like always, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys around. Oh yeah, with another tuning video. Peace out, guys.